Most people think a flat stomach is built in the gym. It isn't. In many parts of Japan, people maintain lean, calm, energized bodies well into old age without crunches, without cardio machines, without a single protein shake. What if the real secret isn't exercise at all? What if it's something much quieter, something you already do every single day, but slightly wrong? By the end of this video, you'll understand 5 traditional Japanese habits that quietly shape the body from the inside out, and I'll leave you with one simple ritual, something you can start today that ties all 5 together. Let's begin with the habit almost everyone gets backwards. We've been taught that a flat stomach is a math problem. Eat less, move more, repeat. But if that were the whole truth, gyms would have solved this decades ago. In Japan, the relationship with the body is built differently. It isn't about punishment or restriction, it's about awareness, noticing the body the way you'd notice the weather. Subtle, constant, respectful. That awareness, practiced quietly for a lifetime, tends to produce something Western fitness culture struggles to replicate. Effortless leanness, not from intensity, from consistency. So let's walk through the 5 habits and the psychology behind why each one works. Habit 1, hara hachibu, eating until you're comfortably content rather than completely full. Most of us finish a meal because the plate is empty, not because we're satisfied. The plate decides when we stop eating, not the body. In Okinawa, one of the regions studied for longevity, many people follow a simple guiding phrase before meals, hara hachibu, often translated as eating until you are comfortably content rather than completely full. It takes the brain roughly 20 minutes to register fullness signals from the stomach. Eating quickly to a full plate bypasses that signal entirely. Slowing the pace and softening the end point gives the body's own feedback system time to actually speak. Most of us have never been taught to listen for that signal. We were taught to finish, not to feel. That's not a personal failure, it's a cultural habit most of the world shares. Try pausing halfway through your next meal, just for 10 seconds. Ask yourself one quiet question. Am I still hungry, or am I just still eating? But something even more surprising happens once you start listening to the stomach, because what you drink matters just as much as what you eat.
Habit 2. Daily tea, not daily dieting. Restrictive diets tend to fail not because people lack willpower, but because they rely on motivation, and motivation runs out. In many Japanese households, tea isn't a diet product, it's a rhythm. Green tea after meals, throughout the workday, in quiet moments between tasks, woven into the day rather than forced onto it. Habits that survive long-term aren't the ones requiring the most discipline, they're the ones requiring the least decision-making. A cup of tea after a meal isn't a choice each time, it's simply what happens next. That automaticity is what turns a habit into an identity. You've probably tried the discipline-heavy approach before, the strict plan that lasted 11 days. This is the opposite. It's not about forcing anything, it's about removing the need to decide. Replace one after-meal habit, a sweet snack, a second helping, scrolling on the couch, with a warm cup of tea instead, not as a rule, as a small, repeatable ritual. The next lesson has almost nothing to do with food at all. Habit 3. Movement woven into the day, not scheduled into it. We tend to think of exercise as something separate from life, a block of time we carve out, dread, and often skip. In many Japanese cities, walking isn't a workout, it's simply how people get places, to the train station, up the stairs, through the neighborhood market. Movement is stitched into the architecture of daily life rather than isolated into a single gym session. This matters more than most people realize. Research on daily energy expenditure shows that background movement, standing, walking, fidgeting, everyday activity often accounts for more total energy use across a week than a single intense workout. The body doesn't distinguish between a real workout and a walk to the station. It only registers total movement over time. If you've ever felt guilty for not exercising enough, this reframe might feel like a relief. The goal was never to become an athlete, it was simply to stay in motion. Look for one trip today you'd normally take by car or elevator and take it on foot instead. Small, unremarkable, repeatable. But movement alone doesn't explain everything, because how you hold your body matters just as much as how you move it.
Habit 4. Hara awareness. Posture as a core practice. Most people carry tension in their shoulders and let their stomach muscles go completely passive, slumped, disengaged, forgotten. Traditional Japanese posture and movement, from seated tea ceremony to martial arts to everyday sitting, centers around a concept called hara, roughly meaning the lower abdomen, treated as the physical and even philosophical center of the body. Sitting upright with the hara gently engaged isn't about looking a certain way. It's a cultural default for how the body is meant to rest. Postural muscles, including the deep abdominal wall, are designed for sustained low-level activation, not occasional bursts. A single ab workout a week does far less for the visible midsection than an abdominal wall that stays gently unconsciously engaged for hours a day simply because posture demands it. This is something many people never noticed until it's pointed out. How much of the day is spent collapsed forward, stomach fully relaxed, core doing nothing at all? Right now, without changing your seat, lift your chest slightly and let your lower belly draw in. Not tight, just present. That's hara awareness. Return to it a few times today. And now, the final habit, the one that ties every other one together. Habit 5. Small plates, many dishes. Ijiju sansai. Western meals often center around one large plate, one dominant portion, one main event. A traditional structure known as Ijiju sansai, one soup, 3 dishes, plus rice, spreads a meal across several small portions rather than one large one. Often a broth-based soup, a vegetable side, a protein-based dish, and rice. Variety across smaller portions naturally slows eating pace and increases sensory satisfaction. The brain registers more food events, even at a similar or lower volume, which supports the same fullness signal we talked about with hara hachibu. It also reintroduces vegetables and fiber into nearly every meal by default, not by force of will. This isn't about eating less, it's about eating differently, structured in a way that works with the body instead of against it. Try splitting your next meal across 2 or 3 smaller dishes instead of one large plate, soup, a vegetable side, and your main. Notice how different the pacing feels.
Why this all matters more than the stomach. Here's the deeper truth underneath all 5 habits. None of them were ever really about appearance. Hara Hachibu is about listening. Tea rituals are about removing friction. Daily movement is about rhythm, not intensity. Posture is about quiet, constant presence in the body. And small plate meals are about structure over restriction. A flat stomach in this tradition was never the goal. It was the byproduct of a life lived in gentle, sustainable alignment with the body instead of at war with it. That distinction changes everything, because habits built on self-respect tend to last. Habits built on punishment rarely do. The Hera Reset Ritual. Here's the framework that ties all 5 habits into one simple daily practice, something you can start today in under 5 minutes. The Hera Reset Ritual. Morning posture check. Sit or stand tall, gently engage the lower belly, and take 3 slow breaths. 1 walking trip. Choose one errand or trip today to take on foot instead of car or elevator. Tea, not snack. After 1 meal today, reach for tea instead of a second helping or sweet treat. The halfway pause. During 1 meal, pause halfway and check in with your hunger before continuing. Evening posture reset. Before bed, take 30 seconds to sit upright, breathe, and notice how your body feels after the day. 5 small moments. No gym, no timer, just quiet awareness, repeated daily. None of these habits demand willpower. They ask for something smaller and in many ways harder: attention. A flat stomach was never really the point. It was always a quiet reflection of a body being listened to instead of ignored. So today, pick just one of these 5 habits, not all of them, just one. Which one will you try first? The tea, the walk, or the posture check? Let me know in the comments. And if this kind of quiet, intentional living speaks to you, consider joining us here at Quiet Japan Living, where we explore one small tradition at a time.